Okay, so welcome to the Technical Team podcast. We're airing the 10th episode. We're into double figures now, so seems like a lifetime ago we did the first one.
It's been a while.
So welcome. I'm Rob. I'm the lead technical officer here at the Technical Team at Gas Safe Register.
And I'm John. I'm the standards and training manager for the register.
Okay, so me and John, dynamic duo, are back.
Back again.
Give you some technical guidance, technical help, and hopefully answer any questions anyone has. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go through technical bulletins. We thought it would be useful. A lot of engineers that are experienced, they're aware of what technical bulletins are and what they're for and where to find them. But we thought this episode, this would be more useful for new engineers, engineers that are about to qualify, and people that are generally not aware of the technical bulletins. We find some people aren't aware of all the technical bulletins we hold at the Gas Safe Register. So this ties in nicely with John's role as the training and standards manager. So part of John's role is to deal with the technical bulletins, help write them, help store them, help change them. So we were going to look at what technical bulletins are, what they're useful for. So John, what exactly is a technical bulletin? What's the purpose of them?
So a technical bulletin, or a TB, is designed for. So what it's there for is if there's like a gap in knowledge, or a gap in information. For instance, on the requirements for internal kitchens, fitting cookers in internal kitchens, we've had to withdraw that because the information became outdated when the new approved document for England came out. And then what that will do is that will go into like a life cycle of that TB. And so we've withdrawn it. We've tried to review it, but it's quite difficult to understand the approved document sometimes. So we'll be looking at getting that reviewed and updated shortly. But there's also there, if it's not in the manufacturer's instructions or it's not in a standard, there'll be some points that the information needs to go out there. There's a few of the older ones are kind of centered around appliances. So where it's not kind of a safety alert, but it's not clear in the manufacturer's instructions, then what that will do is a technical bulletin was written. So that's mainly what they're for. Just to give
cover
a bit
gaps in information and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. It's just guidance, basically. They're guidance documents where there's a gap in knowledge or there's a gap in information in the industry.
That's good. And the TBs, who exactly owns the TBs? So I know we hold them at Gas Safe Register, but who actually is responsible for owning them? Who takes charge of them?
So everybody thinks they're Gas Safe technical bulletins. They're not Gas Safe technical bulletins. We don't own any of the technical bulletins. We hold the register them. We hold the library. We look after the library and maintain them. But the technical bulletin is written by the body that writes them. So some are owned by the LBF or the Large Business Forum. Some are owned, like I say, by manufacturers.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the older ones are kind of throwbacks from when it was Corgi. They just got kind of transferred over to when the Gas Safe Register became the registration body. So we're not quite sure who owns them. So what we did in the last couple of years is we've created a body, a technical bulletin committee that contains members of throughout the industry, large businesses, some of the forums, the registers on there, and what that's done is that's been put in place to take ownership of the TB library, because where there's older ones that, for manufacturers that the manufacturers haven't been around for 20 years, we can't just get rid of them. So, and we can't update them because they can't be updated without the permission of those who own them. So realistically, what the TB committee was formed for was to take ownership of the library as a whole. And then what that will do is we're looking at maybe where there's legacy technical bulletins. We'll be looking to create an archive. So technical bulletins that will no longer be updated and aren't really still relevant but you still move. So for instance, there's a couple of old fire manufacturers. Those fire manufacturers are no longer around. We're not sure who they've kind of amalgamated into, and even if they have been taken over by another company, they won't have any details of their old appliances. So those you might still find those appliances out in the field. So they are sort of still relevant, but they won't be updated anymore. So we're looking at transferring them over to the archive. Once that comes into fruition, then obviously we'll let everybody know and where they can get them.
Yeah. So you said that you've got now a technical bulletin committee, and that's made up of various different people across the gas industry.
Large businesses. Like I say, there's representatives from the LBF, the Large Business Forum, the Gas Industry Liaison Group, the GILG, the chair of that sits on it. And like I say, we're there to kind of, as a secretary and a chair of the committee, just to kind of and so we're looking at we meet periodically. We've got a couple of new TBs that might be coming out soon, so they've been written with the committee. And then what we'll do is there's one coming out which is about non-domestic flus, which is specialist flue systems. Well, they fall outside the scope of the GSRUR. So what we had to do is someone raised the point for they would like this TB about commissioning appliances that fit to them, but when we had to get in specialists with specialist knowledge. So we got people in from, I think it's the BMCA, I think they're called, which is the chimney manufacturers and people like that. And they sit on it with us. We write the TB as a group. And then once it's agreed upon, it gets published through the Gas Safe Register. And then that'll go on our website.
And you say as well that you withdraw. So I guess in part of the reason for the TB committee, or not part of the reason, part of their role is to go through old technical bulletins and remove them if it's not necessary, because like you said earlier, TB 005, which a lot of engineers found useful, internal kitchens, ventilation for cookers, etc. That's no longer available on the Gas Safe Register website, and the reason is because they're just considered outdated now, and just pull them.
So if they contain incorrect information, so if it's around a standard, so like TB 005 was about building regulations and the ventilation in the ADF, I think it is, because those standards become updated, the information contained in those technical bulletins becomes outdated. So it is incorrect. So what we can't do is we can't have the technical bulletin saying this is what it is, because a lot of the times people will go to the technical bulletin rather than reading the document which it kind of covers where their gaps are. So with like I say, normally it's only if there is a gap in information, but however, we do sometimes have them for like things like 005, where if you try and read especially where the regulations and things like the building regs come in, they're not always the easiest documents to read. So they can become a little bit confusing as to exactly what the requirements are. That's where the TB 005 was helpful. Unfortunately, they were updated, and so they became out of date. So when we looked at it, we just had to withdraw it. We've tried to have a look at updating it, but we need to get some specialist advice from the people who wrote the approved document. So that will be looking at updating that. There's also ones where what's meant to happen is there's a gap in knowledge. A TB is made and published, and then when the standard that covers that subject is updated, the TB should then be withdrawn. So for instance, TB 008, which is flues and voids, that is now included in the building regulations approved document J. It's also included in British Standard 5440 part 1. So that is probably, we're going to be looking at reviewing that, and that will probably be withdrawn because there's no need for it anymore. The information is out there already. It's been kind of about 12 years now, 14 years since it came in. So it's, we hope by that point that people understand what the requirements are. So, and like I say, sometimes if the information can't be found elsewhere, but it's not really that relevant anymore, we'll be looking to transfer them over to an archive.
And I suppose for, like I said earlier, all the newer engineers or recently qualified or about to be qualified engineers, where can they access the technical bulletins?
Yeah, because I mean, it's not just them. If you come from like a large business, so most smart large businesses will have their own internal training, so they won't have ever looked at a TB. They'll have their own business versions of it. So they can be found on the website. So if you go on the engineers area of the website, there's a technical information section, and all relevant TBs are in there, along with an index. So TB000 is the index. What that does is that tells you all of the technical bulletins. It will tell you when it was published, if it's been withdrawn, when it was withdrawn, whether it's still current or not. And then you can look down the list, see what's there, and then look at which one's relevant for you. They're found on the website, on the engineers area. Like I say, any new TB is published in the magazine, and they'll probably go out in our new newsletter.
It's a nice little link to the
nice
next
intro
section.
there.
Nice little segue.
Smooth, it was smooth.
No, that's great. So like you said, technical bulletins, you've got the technical bulletin committee now going through all the older stuff, archiving it. And you said you're going to have an archive section in the future. So engineers can look at it if they want to. Yeah. And then, like you say, engineers section of the website. Just wanted to add, if engineers are struggling to get on the website, they can always email into technical and just say, can I have a look? Can I have this technical bulletin? We're quite happy to send them out. It's never a problem. But moving on nicely into the magazine and the newsletter. So the magazine is something everybody knows. The RGE, the good, the bad, and the ugly section is my favourite. And it's something, and it's something that I read before I joined Gas Safe Register. It's something that we put a lot of work into at the technical team. We write a lot of technical articles. John does a lot of work issuing the technical bulletins into the magazine. So the RGE magazine is now being published every other month. So where it used to be every month, it's now gone to every other month. It's also gone digital. You can still get the paper version, but we had quite a lot of feedback, didn't we, John, from engineers saying we'd rather it digital so I could save them on my iPad, on my phone, etc. So that is now being published every other month. And to fill the gaps between the publications, we've reintroduced a newsletter, which is sent to businesses every month, and it highlights any new developments in the industry or in Gas Safe Register. And to make sure you receive your newsletter, you need to make sure that your correct email address is on your registration with us. If you're using an old one, you might not receive it. If you want to receive it, obviously it's important to keep all your details up to date anyway. But it's just something I thought I'd let all the viewers know that we are reintroducing the newsletter.
And that's always a handy thing because it does, like I say, whereas every other month, where also the magazine is every other month, but when a standard or say something comes out, there's a delay from if you miss the month, it could be 3-4 months before the information from a publication of standard goes into the magazine. So the newsletter is there to kind of, it should be, which we'll talk about in a bit about, but there's, the standard should be, you should be able to get the information a lot quicker than just relying on the magazine.
No, it's a good point. Like you say, standards update, you want to be receiving that as soon as you can, which again is another good reason to keep your email up to date.
Absolutely.
So moving on to the next section, it's over to you, John. Your job with the updates to current standards. What's been going on out there in the industry?
Lots and lots of standards being updated currently. So GL8, which kind of you sit on, Rob, which is investigations. You've got UP10, which is being updated at the moment. British Standard 6400, which is the metering. There's a couple which are about to be published. So you've got RGM G5, which is the standard for gas in multi-occupant buildings. That's had a slight update. There's not massive changes in there, but there are some relevant changes in there. That's going through for kind of committees for review, and then with a view to publication soon. And then the main.
Sorry to butt in. Is it such little changes? It's just going to be like an amendment, an add-on, or is it?
I think it's an amendment. It's an amendment. It'll be an amendment rather than a completely new edition. So there will be an amendment. So when there's small changes, they tend to just amend the standard. When there's large changes, they'll give it as a new edition. Certainly that's how RGM work. British Standard generally, BSI would generally go the other way, and they'll just do a new standard. And the same with Liquid Gas UK for the LPGs. So, however, the big one, which everyone keeps asking about, is RGM UP1B, which is the domestic tightness testing standard. This has
I
been
feel
rumbling
like
on.
I feel like we've been waiting for this for years, John.
Well,
It just seems to go on and on. Is
it
it
has been a
is it
while.
coming out? Is it coming out
It is
2026?
finally coming out. We hope, fingers crossed. So I sit on the standard. We're hoping that it's going to be done, of course, on at the end of March. That will have a 6-month lead-in time, where for 6 months it will be both the new version and the older version will sit alongside each other, which is going to be a little bit confusing, but it's because the changes are quite big. That's what we've agreed to. And then there will be a cut-off time, which I think it'll be about October, when it will just say, right, that's it, no more. You have to use the new standard. This is a major change. So
gives
obviously
businesses time to
get the training in place. Yeah, I mean, we'll produce an ISU, an industry standard update, like we do with all new standards. There will be an article probably going in the magazine, hopefully. And we can talk about it we'll have a tech talk, no doubt, so our next edition of the tech talk will, I imagine, cover the updates to UP1B so that we can get absolutely nailed on. People can understand fully what it is and what the changes are. So that's coming out. Don't panic, it's not going to come out and then that's it. You've got to do it the new way. There will be a lead-in time. During that lead-in time, the Gas Safe Register will not defect a business for not knowing or not fully understanding the new tightness test procedure. We will be there to assist and give guidance how to create the new one. But like I say, once the old edition 3 is withdrawn, then obviously everyone must do it to the new standard. But like I say, we'll cover that in more detail at a later date, I think.
Yeah, no, and people can always ring into the technical team.
I'm sure we'll be busy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you're right. It's going to be big learning for everyone, including us at the technical team. We have to get our heads around it so we can help other people understand it and try and help them.
It's nothing radical. Your tightness test, you still do the tightness test in the same sort of way. The pressures haven't changed. The actual way of doing the tightness test hasn't changed as such. It's just how you deal with the, and if the tightness test passes and there's no drop, there is no change to it. It's just if the permissible limits have changed slightly, and that's what it surrounds. But like I say, we'll cover that more fully when the standard's published. If it's published, of course.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath now, but I'm hoping it's going to.
We're hoping it's going through the committees as we speak. So
good.
Fingers crossed.
Good. It's important they get it right, I guess. They don't want to rush it out and it's wrong and they have to withdraw it. So better to be right first time.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see.
So episode 10 has come to an end. Thanks everyone for watching, as normal. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment below. Give us an email into technical@gassaferegister.co.uk. Any ideas, anything you want to talk about? Even if you want to be a guest on the show, by all means, let us know. Obviously, come with a subject that you want to talk about. But if you got any subject, anything at all, let us know and we can try and do something in future episodes. So
absolutely.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.